So if you don't know what VRchat is, I'm going to assume you have a father figure in your life, and you at least go to the gym 5 days a week, and your mental health is overall healthy, and everyone in your life loves you. Because your average VRchat player faces the opposite of all of that, and revels in their own sadness and does not improve whatsoever. The improvements they think they're making is getting a lap dance by someone in a female avatar who is probably a dude, but they think they're improving their women's skills either way.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, hormones.
And how would I know all of this? How would I know the philosophy of VRchat? Well, unfortunately, I wear the badge of shame. VRchat is one of the most played games in my library right now, where I have over 2,000 hours in that game. Now, before you grab the pitchforks and accuse me of being a hypocrite, I will say my most hours were during the COVID pandemic, and I've been playing since 2017. So 2,000 hours over a few years isn't that bad, and I only used to play it like at 2 a.m. at night during those COVID days. And the COVID days really were when VRchat peaked. Like XQC was playing it during those days.
I have to choose. The big whale at the back! Big whale!
No! Sorry.
Snorlax, I did not choose you! Get the fuck off the stage! Fucking stupid!
Alongside the days where Ugandan Knuckles was still a fucking thing, and the game was actually normal. But excuses to the side, I have 2,000 hours in VRchat, and I've seen almost all the phases in VRchat. But it's been a long time since I've actually seriously started playing VRchat. But one thing in that game still remains, and it's slowly been growing over the years. And thanks to VRchat being available on Quest now, that problem has since increased. Since children are the primary owners of Quests, it was like adding fossil fuel to a fire. And that problem being predators or child predators. And I'm not talking about the predators from the Alien movies, I'm more talking about the predators that target young children because of their naivety and age. And this is the biggest problem in VRchat. There are such things as pedophile rings which groom children or get them from public lobbies and make them do the worst things. But today we're going to be talking about one predator specifically who does all of his crimes in the open, and VRchat mods have still done nothing about it. And what I mean by open is publicly sexualizing these children in public lobbies in front of everyone. They've also been known to be very racist, and once they even hear your skin colour is slightly off from white, they will hurl a bunch of slurs at you. But the predator we're talking about today is Tech Gangster. Now, if you're a VRchat player, that name alone probably just puts shivers down your spine, because he is such an infamous person in the VRchat community. And VRchat is such a small world that you've probably run into him before and just not known. I myself has run into Tech Gangster and his brother multiple times, and each time was just as disturbing as the other.
When you lay in the bed, I want you to touch your feet together.
And by disturbing, I mean he's grooming children in front of you, and once you say, they're underage, it says in their bio that, they're 12. He will block you. Blocked in VRchat basically mean you can't see them, they can't see you, but everyone else can see you. But back to the activities of Tech Gangster. If you don't know what ERP is, you're not even in for a fucking treat, you're in for depression. And just for a trigger warning, it's going to get worse as we go along. You're going to think the VRchat community is a depraved, degenerate piece of shit. And you're probably right. At least the majority is. But to keep it simple, ERP stands for erotic roleplay. And it usually involves 2 or more VRchat users going at it and getting off to pixels through their VRchat headset and making the worst sounds possible whilst doing it.
I'm about to come up.
And with the assistance of full body tracking, this problem has got worse, to the point where there are VRchat worlds with private rooms where you can do this, or just, worlds where you can get a lap dance. And just a reminder, this game's player base is predominantly children, and worlds don't have age locks on them. So these kids can visit all of these worlds freely as long as it is Quest compatible and they can see everyone's avatar. But now that we have the context out the way, back to talking about Tech Gangster. Now the lore of Tech Gangster is that he's 29 years old, he's known to be a predator, abuser, drug addict, and surprisingly previously married. Now you'd think with all these tags he was a Discord user trying to get every tag on the server possible, or a criminal trying to speedrun life. There is also another tag he likes to define himself by, which is hacker, and he openly puts this in his VRchat bio, in which he uses this against his victims to basically threaten and blackmail them to continue talking to him by saying, basically, I'm going to hack you if you don't do what I say. Now that we've talked about the bio of Tech Gangster, we're going to talk about his crimes. Once again, this is a trigger warning. He has done some fucked up shit. Now, if the crimes of Tech Gangster were put onto a list, which, he should probably be put on a list himself, but anyway, it'd probably take you a good day to read all of the crimes. But we're going to talk about his most popular crime, which is being a child predator. I know that I've explained some of the VRchat lingo and the space that VRchat is. I think you're well equipped to listen to the next part. So Tech Gangster will prey on vulnerable children that don't have a problem with his age, despite it being plastered in his bio for everyone in that lobby to openly see. But the children he targets mainly have the mindset of, oh, I'm dating an older person, this makes me really cool. And in some cases, he persuades them to send pictures of themselves to him over Discord. But he's most infamously known for going into public lobbies and ERPing with those children in front of everyone. Yes, this guy goes into public lobbies with other children in it and adults and openly has ERP with these underage children in front of everyone. Now, it openly just involves him moaning down the mic whilst he does his thing. And it's very hard to describe the full picture of things without getting banned on YouTube. But the minor will join in, assisting him until it concludes, usually with his satisfaction. And this all sounds disgusting, even if the action is performed in virtual characters or avatars. But he will do this in front of an entire lobby and feel no shame. Now, there are videos of Tech Gangster doing these acts all over YouTube and TikTok, but most of them have been taken down because of the context and who was involved in them. But I do have a video of my friend encountering them from a little over a year ago, and this is immediately after he just ERP'd with a child, and the whole lobby saw the whole thing.
I'm the most famous user of this game. Get
Now, obviously from the video you can see he sees no shame in what he just did, the least of his worries being that he just got off in front of a whole group of people with a child. And you can sort of see what type of person he is now, at least how he is playing VRchat. But if you ask him directly on his reputation, he will say it is all down to his ex ruining his reputation for breaking up with her.
Half a year went by, I dumped her. So she called me a pedophile and ruined my life. That's why all these allegations are all over my house. That's why the documentary's about me.
And this ex has come out on TikTok saying that, she was abused by him, showing bruises. And she had to live with him. He would throw things at her and create an environment that physically looks like a shithole and generally just physically assault her. But the videos of him doing all of these things, they're all just fake. It was just his ex trying to ruin his reputation. Even though, if you meet him personally, he will do this shit in front of you. But it is good to know that the previous ex did get out of the situation and leave him and get a safe distance away from him where she can now live happily. But what's on par with the crimes that he does is the people that surround him. The people that surround him know what he does and just openly be okay with it or just ignore it. This being a person that he says is his brother, who I don't know if is his real brother or just a VRchat brother. And yes, in VRchat people do have fake families. And other minors that surround him that kind of work as a force field. When someone will come to him and talk shit to him, they will attack you. It's the equivalent of getting to a dog round on Call of Duty Zombies by saying that he did nothing wrong or that he's a really nice guy. And I generally hope that most people surrounding him eventually learn what the piece of shit he is, but he must be that good at manipulation to the point where they believe he's a nice guy. So we all know he's a terrible person because of the things he's done. But we haven't talked about the things he says. He has been known to spout racial slurs to anyone that is a minority or just doesn't have the colour of skin of white. But he also really hates British people.
You lost to America in 1776. You do know that, right?
Me.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm asking your age. You can't tell people your age. Are you a pedophile?
He generally just likes to spew toxic shit out of his own mouth. But as of right now, Tech Gangster hasn't been seen or heard of for quite a while. He's been doxxed a number of times and swatted, so naturally he's been keeping a low profile and using different usernames to play VRchat because people keep harassing him and VRchat keep banning him. But they haven't IP banned him yet to permanently ban him from the game, which is stupid. But he is still out there somewhere. But that is one of the biggest predators of VRchat. There are many more and many things wrong with VRchat. I'd like to do a full video on the downfall of VRchat. But let me guys know if you would want that via the comment section. And yeah, bye bye.